This is going to be a conversation about NDAs with a little bit of history, a little bit of conversation about triggers, and why I strongly feel that NDAs may be the way to really help people move forward in the coaching and personal development world. Go forward. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Melinda Van Fleet. I'm an energetic and intuitive business and leadership mentor. I help people with relationships, business, getting unstuck, learning to really empower using their own insight and understand energetics in the process. So welcome to my video. You can also check out my website, melindavanfleet.com, if you want some further information. So anyhow, let's dive right in. Back in 2018, I, with my brain, wanted to create a shoe line. I knew that I was nearing the end of my career in sales as a sales rep, and I had this idea to create a functional, comfortable women's high heel shoe line. And so I went down the path for 3 months and invested money. And one of the things I did was, yes, I had my own creations and sketches and samples that I picked up along the way and how I wanted to intermix things and change things, but I'm not a designer. And in order to create something and work with a factory, you do need to work with someone who can draw and create things in CAD or whatever systems there are now. There's probably some other systems too. And I don't have that skill set. So I hired a designer, and I had absolutely no issue asking her to sign an NDA. She was totally fine with it as well. Great designer. And I was like, do you mind signing an NDA before I pay you? And we worked together. She's like, not a big deal at all. And I had her sign an NDA. So that was my first experience with NDAs. And again, it was a totally normal thing. So fast forward, a little bit of hindsight on that shoe line, just to close the nugget there, is my intuition was telling me through an extreme amount of anxiety, crippling anxiety, that I should not be opening a shoe line and starting a shoe business. So, and it's kind of funny how now Sarah Blakely has this really cool shoe line, and good for her. I think she's amazing, and I love the shoes, actually. They look amazing. Shoe line called Sneaks. So anyhow, big magic. If you've never read that book, read that book. But anyhow, I'm completely good with all of it. And so I went down my path into the coaching world. And that's what I'm supposed to be doing, coaching and writing. And I have noticed over the years how the coaching industry is in terms of testimonials and asking people for testimonials and sharing things online. And sometimes it's really been an unfortunate situation to see, because I'm kind of like, do you really want to have that story be shared? Is that really something that the other person wants to be shared? And I've just had those intuitive hits over the years, and mostly with people, I don't know these people, but I also personally have always been a little gun shy to share things openly online in terms of how I get my clients' results. So yes, I do have some testimonials that people have given me, but in general, I don't feel that I personally buy from a coach based on what someone else's results are, because there's just so many factors that go into that, right? It's the other person. The coach is just the vessel to help you. The coach and the mentor is just the vessel to help you. You're not supposed to be me. You're supposed to be you. So those are actually your results, not really my results. I just help you get them. So I've always felt a little like muddy and not really in full alignment always with getting a lot of testimonials and then even using them. So if you look at my content, I really have hardly ever used testimonials. And to make it even crazier, is a lot of the results I get with my clients are based on a story, something that is very unique to them. So I actually can't share it openly online because the other person would know it was about them. And that would be extremely unfair if they didn't give me permission to share the story. And what's very interesting in all of that is I've actually heard stories bubble up this year where coaches have used a story to share how they get results for their clients, and the client themselves happens to see it online because we're all connected somewhere, right? And they get very not so happy. I've even heard of people getting fired as a coach. So there is a level of discretion that I think is really, really important, and confidentiality, flat out confidentiality. And what has happened in the coaching industry is we've gone more and more into large group coaching, masterminds, groups with Q&As, even Voxer groups. I'm in a Voxer group this year. There have been, actually I exited it because I feel very complete. And there are also lots of Voxer groups that have been going on for many, many years, and probably other apps as well that hold different mastermind groups. So if you think about it, if you're in a group like that, so I was in a Voxer mastermind group. Like I said, I just recently left it. I still owe on it, but I left it. I just feel complete. And I learned so much from being in that group. Truly, I could write like a whole book about how much I learned. But one day about, maybe like May or June, so about 6 months in, I sat and counted how many women were in the group. And if I remember this correctly, there were like 38, give or take. And how many of those women actually showed up and participated either regularly or kind of regularly. At least I'd seen their name before, whether they'd asked questions or had, commented back and helped someone with something. And it was only about 14. So, you know what that means? There's a hell of a lot of lurkers out there. People that are just lurking and not contributing, not showing up for whatever reason. And I've been a lurker too, so I'm not trying to, point fingers at people. I'm just trying to call something out here, and I'll get there in a second. Is that, with the amount of people lurking and just listening, how do you know who's listening to you? And this goes for the whole internet, right? Like, I don't know who's watching this video. So if you think about that in terms of like us feeling comfortable to share things about ourselves, it's actually a really, really huge problem, even in epidemic. Now, in that, I don't think that people should be sharing all these things about themselves. I really don't. More and more and more, I'm like, you know what? I'm not sharing that. I'm not sharing that. I'm not sharing that. I'm not sharing that. And my husband and Ryan and I, and we own Good Karma Sport Fishing and Coaching together. He agrees with me, and he's been like on this train actually for longer than me. And what he does is actually more technical, so he shares more the technical piece of it. But if you want to talk to him about mindset, for the most part, you need to schedule a private call. So it's just private, because otherwise he's like, again, who's listening to what content out there, and who's a lurker? Even if you just look at a YouTube channel, it'll blow your mind if you really look at it, if you've never looked at it before. The amount of big YouTube channels, and you can just look at the big numbers. You can look at my numbers, you can look at big numbers, doesn't matter actually. But you look at how many people actually subscribe, then how many people like, and how many people watch. And you can even go further and go, who actually takes a minute to leave a comment, right? But it's mind-blowing the amount of watch versus like. And that's just hitting a little button. That's it. That's it. But people don't want to be seen. They don't want to be seen. Or they have some premise that, if they like this video, YouTube's going to send them more, which likely so, but also because you're watching this video, YouTube's going to send you more of either me or someone like me or whatever. That's just how it works. That's the algorithm. The algorithm works like our brain. It works like our brain. They're going to send us more. If we want to see more of this, they're going to send us more of that. It's just how it is. So my point is like, you don't know who's watching or listening. So in these really big groups where there's no confidentiality, who knows who's listening to what? So what ends up happening, and this is what's really important, is we as the person end up not getting the actual help we need. Because we have all this energy from all these other people, or we're nervous about who's listening, so we don't really want to share. Or it could even go into soundbite coaching where you're just getting little bits and drips and all these little things, but you're not really seeing the whole picture by having a full one-on-one, honest, private, and confidential conversation. So if you're nervous then that your one-on-one coach is going to then show up online sharing things, whether it's with your name or without your name in some type of story, you're going to hold back even more from getting that help. And in order to see real change, you have to be honest. You have to be honest with yourself. And that's hard. It's hard. My heart goes out to everyone, including myself sometimes. It's hard. It's hard to have the hard conversation. It's hard to look your shadows in the mirror. It's hard to get uncomfortable. It's hard. That's why most people don't get to the level of success that they probably could, because it's hard. But a true coach and mentor is supposed to help you with the hard thing. And they also need to feel comfortable sharing about themselves, especially if they're a mentor. That's what mentorship is. They went before you on the thing you're trying to accomplish. And they may have things that they don't want to share publicly. Again, why do you have to share everything online? Why do you have to give all of your content and information away for free where someone doesn't even really have it land for them? So landing's a journey. Landing doesn't happen in one video, people. Landing's a journey. Or someone just scrolls by anyways. Scroll, 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 scroll. So the amount of coaches that share so much online and put time into when I see people doing slides on Instagram or carousels, I'll do one once in a while just to change up my feed, but they take time. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Spending time in Canva takes time. It's easier to do a post with a picture. It's just fucking true. It is. It is. So all of those things add up. And so you're not going to get real results if you're not openly sharing from the heart. And your coach isn't keeping that confidential and private, and also opening and sharing from the heart. Because they may also be afraid that you're telling everything that they got paid for to your friends, to the internet, to family members, whomever. So I actually believe that an NDA is something that probably should be more common in the coaching world for private one-on-one coaching than it is. I heard a coach in that mastermind, she said that this one woman wanted an NDA. And when I heard that, I was like, you know what? I can get there. I can get there. So what ended up happening in terms of the triggers, it's kind of funny how this came full circle, is I had just put out this program that was intuitively guided. I thought nothing about putting it on my website, that there were NDAs both ways for this program, and it's called Mind Blown, and it's a year-long mentorship with me. And I thought absolutely nothing about putting NDA on my website. And a few days later, my husband and I started watching a show on Netflix called The Perfect Couple, and it stars Nicole Kidman and Liev Schreiber, I think I said his name right, great actor, and hadn't seen him in a while, so that was cool. And one of the episodes is heavily focused on an NDA with one of the other lead characters, and the character's name is Amelia. And it was heavily focused on this. Like, Amelia was struggling, like, why does she want Nicole Kidman, her character's name is Greer. Why does Greer want this NDA? What are they hiding? And they went down this path of hiding. What is she hiding? You know, like the secrets, the family secrets, what are they hiding? So it started triggering me, to be really honest. I got kind of triggered by it. I was like, oh, is that what people are going to think? That I'm like hiding something? Are they going to think I'm like bad? That I want an NDA? That I think it's a really good idea to have an NDA? So I went to bed and I tried to just get it out of my head. And I was like, should I change my website tomorrow? What should I do? Is this going to hinder the program? Is no one going to sign up because I said this? And I woke up and I was like, you know what? A trigger is meant to bring awareness. A trigger is meant to bring awareness. It's not necessarily bad. Hence, I'm doing this video to share this message with you. Because if you're not getting results with your coach or a mentor, whether you're in a mastermind like I mentioned, a Voxer group, some type of other group, community coaching, it could be because you're just not openly doing the work and sharing and doing the work. So one-on-one may be a better fit for you. So then think about your level of sharing with that one-on-one coach, whether it's me or someone else, doesn't matter. I just want people to get the help they need and live their best lives. And getting an NDA might be a really good thing. So I'm appreciative to the Netflix series. And just in general, I always love when I watch a movie or a series where the lead character is a famous author. So that just lights me up in general. But I thought that was really funny because I was like, you know what? The trigger is I need to speak up about this. So if you are interested in working together, again, please check out my website, melindavanfleet.com. You can go to the Work Together page, but look at the other pages as well if you want to get to know me a little bit more. I do not do sales calls. I just don't agree with them. But if you have some questions in the meantime, and for some things, it's really also too me making sure you're a good fit to work with me, because I want people to have the best experience possible. And if you're someone who's not open-minded, you're not disciplined, probably not going to be a good fit. And I put that right there on my website. So anyhow, but I hope you like this video. I hope it makes you really see something in a different light, especially in regards to the coaching space and your own personal development journey, which is super important that you get honest with yourself and get a little uncomfortable. And also learn something about triggers, because unfortunately the narrative online is that, triggers are bad. Oh my gosh, shut it down. Triggers are bad. It's not necessarily always bad. And who says what's bad? It's our judgment on things. So just do a deeper dive into that and look at that. And if you wish to work together again, just reach out and let me know. All right. Thanks. Bye for now.